Hey everybody, Sam here. This is going to be another weekly fragrance rotation video for the week ending in June 4th, 2023. I'm coming to you from a different location this time. I am on a work trip and I am in beautiful downtown San Francisco, California. So if you're interested to hear what I wore over the week, stick around. Okay, first up on Monday, it was Memorial Day and I had the day off from work and I tested out from a sample NAOMI GOODSIR's NUIT BAKELITE. And I've had this sample for quite some time. I got it because it has all kinds of acclaim, it's won awards, and all the notes sounded interesting to me. I think primarily this is tuberose and angelica, a flower I'd never heard of before called Kurkdjian, which I think is related to jasmine. It's also got styrax, and it's dries down to kind of a leather profile in general. I was pleased with it. I thought it was very beautiful. I got a lot of kind of irisy nuances to it, even though I don't think iris is a listed note. It was very dark and almost chocolatey in a gourmand way on my skin. The reason there's some trepidation in my voice is I really liked it. However, it reminded me of two other perfumes that I liked. Tuberose Angelica by JAMAL and Iris de Nuit by Healy. So I didn't find it to be as kind of revolutionary as it had been hyped up to be. And I also found it to be a very nighttime specific scent. And I just don't have a ton of room in my collection for those kinds of scents. But I don't want it to sound like I didn't like it, because it is a really, really great smelling perfume. Anyway, that was Monday, NAOMI GOODSIR's NUIT BAKELITE. Okay, for Tuesday, I have kind of a funny story, or maybe just a story. But I woke up really early in the morning to go to the gym before work, before going into the office. And after the gym, I chose as my scent of the day Another 13 by Labo. I have a 5 ml decant, like an official decant from Labo that I purchased as part of a discovery set. Anyway, it was my second or third time testing it out, and I put on quite a lot of it, and I liked it, especially for this kind of environment where I was leaving the gym, and when you spray it on, it really does have kind of like a clean skin feeling. And I think at the top, for me, it's mostly about the ambrette seed, which to me reads as kind of like skin coming out of a chlorinated pool. And I really liked that about it. As it dries down, though, it becomes more like wood chips and like kind of maybe cedar, but non-specific chipped wood is kind of, I don't know why it's chipped, but that's the sense I get. Almost like the stuff that you put down in a gerbil cage. And oak moss, which is very peppery, and lots of musks. Specifically, I get an image of like the way your clothes smell when they come back from the dry cleaners. And I also get in the base a lot of pear. And I think the pear is actually coming from habanolide or helvetalide, which is a synthetic version of ambrette. And whereas the ambrette at the top reads to me like skin, the synthetic ambrette reads to me like pear. Anyway, I thought it was a fascinating perfume. I really enjoyed wearing it. I'm really kind of leaning towards buying a full bottle of it now. But the reason I don't have something to show you is because I shared it with a coworker in the office that day, and she loved how it smelled. And so I gave her, just kind of like spur of the moment, my entire 5 ml decant without really thinking about it. And now I really miss it. And so I really may have to buy a bottle. That was Tuesday. I wore Another 13 by Labo. On Wednesday, I wore Rose de JAMAL by Les Indemodables. This is another sample. They have
really good size samples.
really good size samples in the Les Indemodables discovery set. Rose de Jamal wasn't one that I loved the first time around, and it's still not a love for me. It is a rose-based perfume, obviously from the name, with a lot of mint and a woody base. And the story behind the name, Rose de Jamal, is that I guess the husband and wife team who run the house source their ingredients from like a hyper-local supply chain, or not hyper-local, but they're very in touch with the growers and the ingredient suppliers, and all of the rose absolute that they use comes from this plantation in Morocco, and the plantation is owned by a guy named Jamal, hence the name of the perfume. So it's cute. I think the perfume itself is fine. It has really great performance, not in a loud way, and just that it felt like a very comforting presence the whole day that I wore it. And I've worn this probably 3 times or 4 times, full wearings, and as you can see, I didn't spray all that much because it's only a 2 ml sample, and it's just about a little more than halfway done. I think my criticism of it overall is that it's a nice perfume, but I think it's tried too much to make rose a masculine scent, with the use of the mint and some of the aromatic stuff going on here. But I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed wearing it on Wednesday. On Thursday, I was also in the office, and I wore LABDANUM 18. I don't have a bottle of that with me right now because I am on the road, obviously. But LABDANUM 18 by Labo, it's a wonderful amber musk fragrance. I realized that the last time that I put it on, I'd kind of overdone it with my 6 sprays, because it is a very strong fragrance. And so on Thursday when I went to the office, I only put on maybe like 2.5, 3 sprays, and it performed perfectly. But ironically, the whole day I kept thinking to myself, like, man, this is so good, I should have worn more, I should have done the whole 6. That was Thursday, LABDANUM 18 by Labo. On Friday, I was working from home, and I did another test of this guy. It was Bay Rum by Olympic Orchids, and I really, really enjoyed this one. Every time that I've sampled it, I've really enjoyed it. And it's exactly what it says on the bottle. It's a Bay Rum inspired scent, so I guess this is a classic formula based on Jamaican bay laurel, which is different than the kind of bay leaves that you use in your cooking, but in the same family, I believe. Anyway, it's very spicy. It smells very tropical, like spiced rum, I suppose, but very clove forward, boozy and nutty and resinous. I get a lot of LABDANUM in this one too, actually. Anyway, I really enjoy it, and I would consider getting a bottle of this as well. My wish list is getting pretty long right about now, but it's pretty affordable, and so it's a big consideration for me. That's Bay Rum by Olympic Orchids. And on Saturday, yesterday, I did another sampling of L'Eau à la Rose by Maison Kurkdjian, and yeah, I like this one a lot. I talked about it in my video last week. That was my first sampling of it, and this was my second sampling. I'm glad I sampled it again, because I think after having worn it a second time, it can come off of the very long wish list. It's a beautiful fragrance, very light, summery, kind of like a rose lemonade, but not very sweet. Great use of musks, great use of notes like pear. It's a fun, frilly perfume. And I don't mean frilly like a celebrity fragrance. This is much more substantive than that. But in any case, it's not something that I really need in my life this summer as much as I might like it. So that was yesterday, Saturday. L'Eau à la Rose by Maison Kurkdjian. Alright, and for today, as a travel day, I wore Iris 39 by Labo, and again, I love this fragrance, and I possibly sprayed a little bit too much of it this morning. I know people are always kind of like critical of people who spray perfume before going on a flight, but The flight from Los Angeles to San Francisco is only 45 minutes. So I never hesitate to wear fragrance on those flights, which I do that flight very frequently. And nobody's ever complained to me. But I think I probably wore just a little bit too much today. I could kind of feel myself radiating a big purple cloud of iris and violet. And then the surefire sign was when I got in an Uber to come into the city from the airport. The Uber driver had like a little bit of a cough and rolled down the windows. But I thought to myself, at least I smell fabulous. If I'm going to be rude. So that was it for the week, guys. Short video today because I'm on the road, but I hope you enjoyed that video, and I really appreciate you sticking around to watch. Hope you have a fabulous week. All right, bye-bye.